In this video, I'm going to teach you 3 beautiful right-hand broken patterns that you can play over any major or minor chord. So this is really going to mix up your playing when it comes to chord progressions and make them sound beautiful. Today, I'm going to use the 1-5-6-4 chord progression in C. Now, if you don't know how to do this, I have an entire video teaching you how to do this progression. I'll pop it in the notes below. So all it is a C major, a G major, an A minor, and an F major. And I'll quickly show you the 3 patterns we're learning. So the first is a simple arpeggio. Okay, the second is a bit of an extension of that arpeggio. We're going to move into these top 3 notes of the chord. So it will sound like this. Sounds beautiful, doesn't it? And the third one is very similar to the first. We're just going to shorten the chord a bit. So we're going to use our chord, but with an added D in there. So it's going to have this beautiful sus sound, and it sounds like this. Sounds beautiful. So these are really simple to do once you get your head around it. So the first one, the arpeggio, it's a 4-note chord basically. We take our C major and we're going to use our thumb, our index finger and our middle finger, and then we can use our little finger to add the root note in at the top, and those are the 4 notes. And in our left hand we're going to play the root note of C, and we'll play the root note for each chord in our left hand. So don't worry if your right hand can't reach that top C, because we're going to be playing these notes one at a time anyway. So all we do is we move up the notes and then down the notes. So we start on C, then play E, G, C, and then come back down, G, E, C. And it's as simple as that. So we're going to play it twice before we move on. Now the second time, we're not going to come all the way down to the C. We're actually just going to come down to the E, because that means we're ready to move to our next note. So I'll show you what I mean. And then when we get to here, we move to the G. Ready to do it again on the G. Now the G is made up of a G, a B and a D, and then we're going to add the root note at the top again. And we do exactly the same thing. We play the root note in our left, so we've got the G in our left, and we move up and down. Remember, we're going to end on the second note of the chord instead of the first, so we're ready to move. So we finish on this B and then we move to the A. So the A minor triad is A, C and E, and we add that A at the top, and we go up and we go down. Ending on that C. Ready to move to our last chord, which is the F. Now an F major is F, A and C, and we're going to add the root note at the top, the F. And we go up and down, and we're rolling our hands across these notes. And we're ending on that A, ready to move back to the C. So I'll play it all through one more time, and then I'll do it with the pedal so you can hear how beautiful it sounds with the pedal. Up and down. end on the E and then move to the G. End on that B, move to the A. End on this C, ready to move to the F. End on that A and return to the C. So let's do it with the pedal so you can see the difference. For the pedal, you're just going to hold it down for the whole chord. You then lift the pedal when we move chords. So starting on this C, hold down your pedal. Remember to hit the C in the left hand. Move to the G, pedal up and down. Move to the A minor, pedal up and down. Move to the F major, pedal up and down. And then you can end on the C. So it sounds so beautiful, and this will work on any chord and the minor chords. I have a great video which teaches you how to play any major or minor chord from any note on the piano. It's so very simple. I'll put the link in below, and you pick any note on the piano. For a major chord, you move up 4 half steps followed by 3. That would be an A major, and it will work from any note. And then you just add in the root note at the top, and you can do the exact same thing. So it will work from any note. Make sure you check out that video and try this from different chords. So I just want to talk to you quickly about rhythm for this pattern. For this pattern, we're using a triplet rhythm, which means we're playing 3 notes to every beat of the bar. Now, in most popular music these days, you're going to have 4 beats to the bar. You will get 3 beats as well for waltz type songs, but most songs are written in 4/4, which means there's 4 beats in the bar. For this rhythm, we're playing 3 notes to every beat. So if I was to hold down the C in my left hand, and I was to replicate the beats of a bar in a song, there'd be 4. So I'd go 1, 2, 3, 4. And for this arpeggio in our right hand, we're going to play 3 notes to every beat. So it's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Because we're playing 12 notes in this bar of music. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Or you can just count your 4 beats. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's how the rhythm works for this beautiful pattern. So practice this and try it with different chords. And I also want you to try and put an accent on the root note at the bottom and the top, because this is really going to start to make it sound professional. So if I was to exaggerate that, okay, that's what I want you to do, but obviously not that exaggerated, just a slight accent to make it sound awesome. Okay, so pattern number 2 is very similar. We're going to use the same notes, but we are going to add in a couple of extra notes at the top instead of coming down. So we're actually going to add in these 3 notes at the top of the chord. So this is what we're going to do on each chord. So if you take your C major chord, we add in the root note at the top again, and we're also playing this root note at the bottom. We are going to do the same as before in that we're going to travel up. But when we get to this C, we're going to stop. And instead of coming down, we're just going to move up to the E and back. So your fingering is going to change here. So we're going to do C, E, G, and then we're going to lift our hand so that our thumb lands on the C. And then we can just move our fingers up and back. And we're just using the top 3 notes from the top of the chord. So we're down here, C, E, G, lift your hand, let your thumb land on this C, and then we use our index finger and middle finger just to go up to the E and back. And that is it. And then we do the same thing. We're going to then jump to the next note. So our thumb has landed on this C, and then we're going to move to the G. So we just lift our hands to the G. So our thumb is now on this G. We do the same thing. We're going to use these same 4 notes again, the G major chord, root note at the top. When we get to the top, we're going to be adding in these 3 notes here, which are the first 3 notes of a G major. So we roll our fingers from the G up to the top. Remember, we need to stop on our middle finger so we can jump our thumb up to the G and move up to the B and back. Okay, so on the G, and you'll just have to spend some time practicing this to get it nice and smooth. So from here, we're going to be moving to our next chord, which is the A. This is the A minor, A, C and E. And then we're going to add in the A at the top, of course. And we move up. Remember to stop on the middle finger because we're jumping our thumb onto the A. And then we have our little 3 notes at the top. And then from here we jump to the F, which is these 4 here. F, A, C, and the root note at the top. So we roll up, stop on our middle finger, jump our thumb up to the F, and do these little 3 notes at the top. So if I go slowly around all 4 of those, and the pattern is exactly the same on all 4 chords. Okay, so a really good way to keep this in your head when you're thinking about playing this is you're looking for the C, even at the top, because it's the first 3 notes that we're using. So we're looking for a C major chord, even up here. We're not using this G when we go to the top, we're using these 3, but it's a good way to have that C in your head for when you jump, because then you won't lose your place. So if I add in the pedal for this pattern, remember, we're lifting the pedal in between chords. So we start on C. We move to the G and we're going to lift the pedal. And we move to the A minor, lift the pedal. And we move to the F, lift the pedal. And then back to the C. And what I want you to do with this one is put a little accent on the top root note with your thumb. So when we start, we're going to play all the notes evenly. So in a C, we stop with our middle finger. When you jump with your thumb to the C, accent that C. I mean, that's me exaggerating, but it just adds so much depth to it. So you're looking for that top note with your thumb and then you're giving it an accent, but don't exaggerate it as much as me. Just make it nice and subtle. Beautiful. And just to talk quickly about rhythm with this one, it's slightly different to the other one. We're not doing triplets. We're not doing 3 notes for each beat. We're just using 8th notes. So we're counting 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So we're going to play 2 notes for each beat. So if I was to play the 4 beats of the bar with my left hand again, it's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So 2 notes to each beat. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay, so our last pattern for this video is very similar to the first one. In fact, I probably should have done it second, but I haven't. So it's triplets again. So it's very similar to the arpeggio. But all we're going to do is we're going to shorten the chord a bit. So instead of using all these notes here and adding in the C at the top, we're actually just going to use these notes. So it's just the chord triad, the C major chord. I'm going to add in this D. Oh, you've probably heard this sound. It's so beautiful. It's a sus chord. Basically, we're adding in the 2nd note, which makes it this beautiful sus. I have a fantastic video on sus chords. I will put the link in below for you. It's a great little video on it. Beautiful. But this broken pattern is using that sus sound. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to play the notes one by one, just like the arpeggio, but we're just using these 4 notes here, C, D, E, G. And then we do this for each chord. So it sounds like this. And we end here on the D, ready to move. And we do the same with the G. So it's these 4 notes. Here's the G triad, G, B and D. We just add in this 2nd note of an A. And then we go up and down. Yep, and then we move to the A minor here. We're going to add in that 2nd note of a B. We do the same thing. And then we move to the F. We're using these notes here, the F, A and C of the F major triad. We add in the 2nd note, which is the G, go up and down. And of course, ending on that G, ready to move back to the C. And what you can do at the end here is play that beautiful sus chord and resolve it to the E. So C, D, E, and then resolve to the E at the end. That'll sound cool. Let's try it. Without the pedal first and then with the pedal after. Sounds lovely, but even better with the pedal. So let's try it with the pedal. Remember, we're lifting the pedal up and down between chords. So we start on the C. Lift the pedal up and down. Pedal up and down. Pedal up and down. Pedal up and down. Ooh, lovely finish. And the accent I want you to do on this is on the top note. So for the C, it'll be the G. If I exaggerate it for you. If you're interested in playing chords and scales and improvising and playing all your favourite pop songs, I have a fantastic course at mypianomethod.com. So you can join the My Piano Method community. You can learn all of this stuff in depth. I have full courses, I have full practice plans for every day, for each of the courses. You get full support from me, and it's a great community as well. So I'll pop that link in the description below. But thank you very much for taking the time to watch my video today.